Hey guys, a couple of years ago, I was following a thread online somewhere, and a mom had just decided to homeschool, and she put out this kind of broad question, and she said, how do you start? How do you homeschool? Please tell me how it's done. And the entire thread was on advice of how to do your laundry. And it was so hilarious to me that I thought, really, guys? I think she might have been interested in curriculum. But when it comes right down to it, this is a thing. Being able to maintain your house so that you can have space and time and mental space to be able to teach, this is real and it's really important. So one of the first things that you really have to do in order to be very successful at homeschooling is set up systems that make your housework run. And I can tell you, I hate housework. I don't like cleaning. I don't like mopping. I don't like scrubbing. I don't like it. But I've got systems in place so I don't almost notice it. It just kind of happens on its own so that it's no longer taking up space in my head and making me feel frustrated about doing stuff that I don't want to do. So creating systems is not only important to get the work done, but it's also really empowering to say, now that's no longer bugging me, so I'm free to be happy and enjoy doing things that I really want to do, which part of that is homeschooling. I really enjoy homeschooling, and so I can get all of the housework out of the way using systems. Now, you also use systems for a lot of other things. I use systems for school. Man, systems, they play a huge role in how I educate. I also use systems for my relationships, just to make sure that those don't fall by the wayside, that things are happening that ensure that the relationships are receiving the nurturing that they need. So I have systems everywhere, but they're really important. So today I just wanted to talk about, maybe give a couple examples of how to set up a system, but especially just talk about what are they, how do you create a system? So here's how it goes. A system just basically means you're going to do the same thing in the same order all the time. And you have systems. You are using systems right this time. Maybe your system is that you drop your towels on the floor and then you get really bugged by them and pick them all up at the last second and throw them in the washing machine. That's your system for doing your towels. It's not awesome and it leads to a lot of frustration, but everybody has systems. They just do the same thing in the same order. So you just kind of want to grab that idea that we're naturally doing this and say, let's do it in a way that I like, that isn't bugging me and making me grouchy. So let's just talk laundry. Let's talk about the system that you can use for laundry. The first thing you want to do, there are just a couple of steps when it comes to laundry, and the first is sorting. I've heard a lot of people talk about different ways of sorting. You can do colors, you can do the textures of the material that you've got, you can do, I don't even know how many ways. I don't spend very much time on this. This is actually, I gotta say, we do another step before this, and that step is we don't own very much stuff. I don't want to do laundry very much. It's a pain. I'm so grateful I have a washing machine. I don't want to do laundry. This is not how I want to spend my life. So we have enough outfits to get us through the week and then maybe 2 additional days for that. So everybody gets 9 outfits and we're done. And that's it. So that's kind of our first thing, getting things pared down so that laundry isn't everywhere, clean and dirty, all mixed up. So then the first official one is you want to sort it. When I was growing up, we had a kind of big laundry room, and you would come in and just throw things in the baskets. We just had baskets set up all the way around the room, and this was the towels baskets, and this was the whites baskets, and this was the jeans and whatever, and we would all just come in, bring our basket in, and sort into those baskets, and that's how we did the sorting. I do it much easier, much simpler. I say in the moment that you drop it, it goes into the right basket. So all of our baskets are, actually I hide them under my bed because that's where I can put them out of I don't see them and I don't want to see them. So the kids will come and they'll pull the basket out from under the bed for the darks, and they put their clothes for the day in that one. And when you're done with the towel goes in the towel basket, and the whites go in the whites basket. And the moment it comes off, it goes into the basket, sorted. That's how we do it. But you do just have to have some process in place to do the sorting. And some people, they throw all of their laundry into one big mound and then they sort it out. And you can do that, but that to me is, it's just making it more work. It's just an extra step that I don't want to do because, again, have I mentioned, I don't like to do this stuff. So I just want it to be as easy as possible so the sorting happens the moment it comes off at our house. Then the next step is that you have to get it from the basket to the laundry room, to the washing machine. And what I have found is that most people in the layout of your house, you have to walk by the laundry at some point, that you are naturally going there somewhere. This is not actually true of my last house. It was kind of a hassle. It was in the basement and it didn't make a lot of sense geographically. But if you're lucky and you have some place where you just naturally walk by it, the natural thing to do is when you're going to walk there, take the basket with you. So in my house, I have to go downstairs from my bedroom. So I will take a basket with me and just carry it down the stairs. And I have to go right by the laundry room. So as soon as I'm walking by the laundry room, it's literally a dump, dump it in, laundry detergent in, start it, and it's done. So it just is, I'm already walking downstairs. So you just sort of say, I'm just going to grab the basket and take it with me in this motion that I'm doing already. And anytime you can say, I'm already doing this motion, I'm just going to tack something on it. It's called habit stacking. That makes it really, really easy. You don't have to say, I have to convince myself that it's really important to do laundry and I got to get this done. Just stick it into your flow that you're naturally doing. If you're already walking that way, take a basket with you. And then the next thing you have to do is you have to rotate from the washing machine to the dryer. I have just recently taken laundry back on because it's one of the things that that in my system that I have, that I am trying to train up my children to be able to move out on their own and do a really good job. They have to do laundry for a long time, and that's doing the family's laundry. And then once they've done that for a while and I can trust them with that, then I turn it over and I say, now you take care of your own laundry from now on. Now we just happen to be at a place where nobody needs to be learning that skill right now, so it's mine. I am taking care of the family laundry. The rotation for me, it happens at lunchtime because, again, my kitchen's pretty close to my laundry room. And so when I go into my kitchen, it's right there and I have that trigger. I see the laundry room. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to take those last 5 steps and I'm going to rotate it over into the dryer. And it's done, right? It's so fast. The actual doing of the laundry doesn't take very long. So you just pull it out, you stick it in the dryer, and I'm done with it. And then I don't even worry about it until it's time to go upstairs for the day. And at that point, I'm walking up the stairs. So I just grab that basket. Sometimes if I think about it, I'll stick it right at the bottom of the stairs so that I see it and it's even easier to grab it and carry it up the stairs, which actually that works really well for me because the kids will see it and they'll take it up for me. So that's a bonus. So by the time it gets upstairs, this is the hardest part for me, is the folding and putting away. And I find that it's just easiest if I have something to do that I'm enjoying. So I will watch a movie or I will listen to a podcast or maybe an audiobook. Something like that is going on in the background so that I can kind of do this mindless activity of folding and getting into all the piles and not feel like my life is wasted as a washerwoman, because I just, one more time, I don't like doing this. And so I have to have something there that makes it enjoyable for me for that last step. And then the kids come and they take their own stuff and put it away in their room. That is our current system for laundry. I know somebody who does laundry 1 day a week. She doesn't want to have it spread out forever. She doesn't want to have to constantly remember to do a little bit at a time. So she just says, this is my laundry day. And she runs it through batch after batch, and she just sets a timer and it buzzes for her, and whatever else she's doing, she goes and she takes care of it, and then she's done. She doesn't even have to think about it for the rest of the week. That's another system, and if that is what works for you, then do it. That's a great system. Other people have systems where there are lots and lots of systems that you can see online. They will have videos about it, but I'm just saying, find what you're naturally doing. You break it down into the individual steps. We've got to sort it, and then we've got to start the washer, get it to the dryer, get it upstairs, fold it and put it away. Those are the steps. And then just naturally fold those into your schedule and say, what am I doing that's moving in that direction anyway, and how can I just sort of fold that in? And for the parts that aren't natural, bring something in that makes you enjoy it. And I will say, I don't know if this works for everybody, but I really don't like anything on my bed. I want my bed to be made and be beautiful and just bare. And so if I have not done the laundry for several days, I will take the laundry and I will dump it on my bed just to make me grouchy so that I will fold it to get it gone. Whatever tricks you have to do to make it work for you, go ahead and do that. Like I said, I use systems for all the areas of my life. I just want to give you 2 more examples of some systems that I'm using right now. One of them is for education and one is for relationships. So in our educational system, it's the scheduling, right? I use a system to create our schedule. So the first thing I do is I break it down into its individual steps and I say, what are the different categories of learning that take place during the day? What are the sort of chunks of learning? And we have our opener where everybody is together, and then we have our inspiration loop, our foundation loop, our individual studies, and then our family read. And so we have kind of these 5 categories that there are different options inside each one of those categories. So the first thing I do is I write down each of those 5 categories, and then I will write under each of those headings, I'll say, and these are the things that we can do for family read. You know, in January, we're going to be reading this book. In Inspire Loop, I've got all the different things that go in that loop and all the different items inside each of the categories. Fairy tales, that's one of the options on the loops, and then right beneath that I say we can do either Grimm's fairy tales or My Book House. So I have all the options gathered, and it's all in this big list. That's the first thing. Create the list, have the categories all broken out. And then the second part that I do with this system is that when we sit down in our opener as part of our system, I look at our schedule and say, all right, what are we doing today for our inspiration loop? Oh, I see, we are on character stories. And then we choose what we're going to do for character story, and I write it down. And I say, okay, what are we doing for our foundation loop? World history. Great. What are we reading for world history? Write it down. And I've just got this list that I'm pulling from. I'm not trying to remember it in my head. I'm not trying to, you can see, I'm actually looking at it right now. I'm just staring at the list because it's too much work to have to keep straight all the things that all the kids are working on all the time. So having that list and then just kind of picking up each of the pieces as I put my schedule and I say, okay, I know what we're doing for Inspire Loop, I know what we're doing for Foundation Loop, I know what we're doing for individual studies, I know what we're doing for Family Read. I write them all down, and that is the second part of the system. The third part of the system is that as we're working our way down, now I'm on the actual day, and I've written down what we're going to accomplish for this actual day, then I'm just working my way down this list and I mark it off. I did that, then I did that, then I did that, then I did that. And that is the completion of that system. And I know that I got it all done, and the next day when I come in, I'm able to reference up there and said, well, we did Constitution yesterday, which means today we're going to do science. And I no longer have to sit and think and worry, and are we going to get it all done, and are we where we're supposed to be, and do we have enough time for all of the projects and everything? We do. I know we do. I've made a list, I've put it down, I know what we're accomplishing, and then every single day I just grab the pieces that I need from that list, and that is what we're going to accomplish that day. And that really pares it down and makes it much simpler so that I know the big picture of it, but I'm not stuck there. I'm able to just really drill down and say, today, what we're going to do is read from this book. It's pretty simple, and that's the end of that system. And the last system that I have is so simple, and this is a relationship system. All I do is the moment any child wakes up for the day and I see them, the first time I see them, I stop what I'm doing, I look them in the eyes, I give them a hug, and I say, I love you so much. How are you doing? It's not always the same script, you know, I'll say, what were you dreaming? Or, you know, how did you sleep? Any of those things. You can say anything, but I take the time to say stop and connect with that person first thing in the morning. And that's it. That's the whole system. But that is super powerful because it's one of those little things that makes such a big difference in relationships. And it is a system because I mentally think about it. I mentally say, this is important for our relationship to have this first touch and first thing in the morning. And I'm going to make sure that that happens. It doesn't happen if you don't make sure it happens. So making sure that you know what is important and creating a system for that, whether it's that one step, right? I didn't even break that down into steps. That was just when they first wake up, greet them. Or if you have a bigger thing, like the other couple of systems I've talked about, and you need to break it down into steps and talk about them and create a system that works that way. Whatever you're doing, no matter how complicated your system is, these things they take a lot of the stress out of your life. They create a lot of automation in your life so that you're able to really focus. And when they say, well, I dreamed about this, you're not off somewhere thinking, hang on, what else do I have to do? And am I making sure that I'm where I am supposed to be in my schedule? And did I get the laundry done? That's all taken care of. It's done. Your systems have removed all of that stress so that you're able to really be in that moment and really focus on that person and what they're telling you. And that's really the point, is that things that repeat shouldn't take up space up here. You want to be able to clear that all out so that you can have the space and here, right? You want to have the space here to be able to connect with everybody that you run into, that you're in charge of, that you're responsible for. You want to be able to have those resources inside of you not all taken up by laundry and cooking and cleaning. You want them available to build the relationships and help other people. So I hope this helps. I hope that you can create systems that will make your life much smoother and much easier, whether that's education systems or cleaning house systems or relationships systems, whatever they are, to make things be smooth. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments, because I'm not sure that I did a thorough job of explaining this to you. So let me know if you have any questions. You are doing such important things. I can't tell you how important it is to me to know that there are all these people out there who are working so hard at the things that really, really matter. You're doing such a good job. You're doing better than you think you are. And it's just important in every relationship in your life. What you're doing is really important. Keep it up. I'll see you on the next one.